The moment of truth has arrived. Kevin stands on the edge of life and death, facing a betrayal that cuts deeper than any blade. Once a friend, now a fierce adversary, Kelly is ready to strike. But as the final battle begins, will Kevin's strength and loyalty be enough to survive? In a clash where every move could be his last, can Kevin outwit fate? Or will he fall to a foe he never saw coming?
Kevin started looking into exploring his untapped strength through meditation, trying to recall what Clarissa had done earlier. He threw the night dagger in a circular motion. How did Kevin perform the halo technique on his first try? Without any training. Out of desperation, Clarissa suddenly took out a jade green pill from her pocket. After Clarissa took the jade pill, Clarissa briefly regained the upper hand, but Kevin quickly recovered. Despite the matchup being called a draw, Wayne and Harley noted how Kevin deliberately chose to spare Clarissa's life. After a few minutes, Kevin had already returned to a seat in the stands. Then Lily reached out and hugged Kevin's waist. Suddenly, everyone heard a loud voice. I shall now announce the matchups for the second round. Southeast School for Natural Medicine's Clyde Davis versus the Healing Arts School's Kevin Williams. The second round battles are about to begin. Kevin and Clyde were sizing each other up as they stood across from each other inside the green arena. I watched your battle against Clarissa, but you cannot defeat me. There's no point in talking anymore. Let's fight. Clyde would draw enough power to use the iron wall technique. Kevin took a deep breath to draw some inner strength. Despite landing 3 strikes in a row, it was like hitting a wall to no avail. He then drew the knight's sword from behind his back. Are you all right? After all, he didn't want to kill him. Perhaps you should pay attention to yourself. Kevin was caught off guard. With just one punch to his stomach, Kevin spat out a mouthful of blood. Just then, Kevin switched weapons as he placed the knight sword on his back and retrieved the knight dagger from his pocket. He then started sprinting towards Clyde. Kevin managed to sidestep Clyde's fist and then kick him hard in the knee. It seems that even the iron wall technique has a breaking point. That's impossible. No one has ever been able to break through my defense. Kevin is the winner of this match. Soon the host announced the start of the third round, where Kevin was going to fight Sebastian Young, a representative of the Southwest School of Healing. Shortly after Kevin entered the blue arena, Sebastian suddenly moved so quickly that everything happened in a flash. He had been trying to master the swift sword technique for a while now. Despite this, Kevin's body wasn't damaged at all. This was because the body armor that the Alliance leader had given to him had been protecting him the whole time. All of a sudden, Kevin jumped up high into the air and leapt toward Sebastian with all of his strength. When all the dust around them finally cleared up, they opened their eyes wide and were shocked to see Sebastian's pale face as he lay down at the center of the blue arena. Nobody knew who had actually won the match. Sir, you're fired. Throughout the battle, he did have the intention of favoring Sebastian over Kevin, knowing that he had been trained by Wayne. This was why he had hesitated to call a winner. I now declare Kevin as the official winner of the battle. But at the moment, Renee decided to speak. The final battle will be between the Union and Kevin. Kelly, you can swap with Luna Ellis, but I'm no match for Kevin. That is a direct order. I want to remind you that Kevin is wearing protective body armor. Apart from his head, there's no other place on his body that can be damaged by swords or daggers. Just as the host was about to announce the names of the finalists, Renee suddenly interrupted. There will be a last-minute substitution competing for the Union. Director Silver, this doesn't conform to the rules. Rules? Do you want the members of the Union to be injured in the competition because of their lack of stamina? Kelly, hurry up and enter the arena. Kelly had no choice but to comply. The final round of the competition will feature Kevin Williams, representing the Healing Arts School, versus Kelly Emmett of the Union. As Kelly entered the brown area, Kevin frowned slightly as he looked at her. You can leave now. I don't want to fight with a friend. I can't. And I won't go down without putting up a fight. Meanwhile, Kevin's friends began to discuss this awkward matchup as well. Anyway, the final victor will be the one who will be sent to kill that thief Roger Knott. Why don't you just forfeit? I never imagined that you would one day point a sword at me like this. You're only fooling yourself. When Wayne Ford questioned Renee's motives against Kevin, she claimed that the Union had much better candidates to kill Roger Knott, urging Wayne to just hand him over to her. "Didn't I tell you that Kevin was a piece of trash who did all kinds of evil things? Are you too blinded by the talent that he's shown today? We have to get rid of him for the greater good."
If you really think the Union is better than everyone else, then don't drag the other organizations down with you. And if you have nothing better to do than to disrespect the competition, then I think it would be best for you to leave right now. Otherwise, don't prevent the competition from continuing.
"Do you really think our school is afraid of the Union? Maybe you're right. Only time will tell which of us gets the last laugh.
From today onwards, all members who are affiliated with the Union will be expelled from the Healing Arts School. We also won't be hiring any of their members moving forward."
Wayne then turned around and addressed the two combatants.
"Kevin, Kelly, listen up. Either of you can admit defeat now. Otherwise, you'll have to fight to the death.
If you forfeit now, we can still be friends. I've promised some people that I'll win this competition, so unfortunately I have to honor my word to them." All of a sudden, Kelly rushed towards Kevin. When she arrived in front of him, she waved her sword and attacked. With a loud clang, the sharp sword brushed against his body, generating a burst of intense sparks. Lily and Dalton, who were concerned about Kevin, immediately stood up from their seats to check on him. Thankfully, Kevin had been wearing his body armor. Kelly must kill Kevin at all costs. Only when that piece of trash dies will the Union's losses be minimized. Back at the Brown area, Kevin was continuously dodging each strike from Kelly's sword. Up until then, he was hesitant about fighting her. Did one of them really have to die? But just as Kevin was about to make a move, he got stung in the face and neck multiple times. Thinking that a swarm of bees had just randomly flown by, he quickly brushed them off. However, as he winced from the pain, he could also feel a strong force pulling him. A second later, he found himself involuntarily moving towards the sharp blade of Kelly's sword. What the heck is that loser trying to do? Does he think his head is harder than a sword? Meanwhile, Harley, Wayne, and even Nadia slapped their armrests and stood up from their seats almost at the same time. They all sensed that something was wrong, but even if they wanted to save Kevin, it would be too late for them to intervene as it was all happening so quickly. A bitter smile appeared on Kevin's face. Is this how I'll die? Kevin closed his eyes. At that moment, he felt that time had slowed down and his entire life flashed before his eyes. When he slowly opened his eyes, he was surprised to see the Night King standing in front of him.
Will Kevin's life end at the hands of someone he once trusted? Or will a power greater than anything he's ever known save him from the brink of death? Will Night King's legendary power be enough to pull Kevin back from the brink of death?
Hi, Kevin here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of InstaEmpire now with the link in the description.